Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for all Missouri students, sponsored by the Missouri Association for College Admission, Counseling, and StriveScan. Thank you for joining us. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to the presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of the many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at moacac.org. This presentation is being recorded and will be available within a week on the same website, moacac.org. I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is JC Bradford. I will be your host this evening. I am also your assigned admissions counselor for the University of Arkansas. My colleague, Kim, is probably going to be helping to answer questions in your Q&A. So if it does take a minute to get back, I'm sure it's because we'll have lots of questions to address. So just bear with us and we'll get to you as soon as we can. But I'm going to go ahead and start my presentation. Let me get that up over here. And let's see here. Oh, maybe. Share screen first. Thank you for bearing with us in these times of coronavirus. We appreciate it. And here we go. Okay, so you are here to learn about the University of Arkansas. We are a unique institution, unique in the area that we're in, unique in our heritage, unique in the fact that we are the only Razorback. A Razorback is another word for a wild hog. It might be the most intimidating thing ever to be in a stadium packed with 80,000 people, pending we ever get to do that again, and hearing all of our fans call those hogs. If you know what I'm talking about, you already know. If not, get on YouTube and go check out some videos. It's a fun time. You do learn to do that at orientation, so brace yourselves. It's a fun time. So the University of Arkansas is a nationally competitive institution. We are a Research One institution. We are the land grant institution of the state, and we are research focused. We offer opportunities for students to get involved in research at any phase in their college career, as early as freshman year. We have a nationally recognized honors college. If you're thinking about graduate school or professional school, the University of Arkansas is a place where you can receive a comparable education to an Ivy League institution, but obviously you get the benefits of going to a big state school, which is in the Division I SEC conference. We are also a student-centered institution. Our students dictate everything we do, and we love that about ourselves. Moving on, some things I want to highlight. We are a large institution. We have about a 27,500 enrollment number. About 24,000 of those are undergraduates. And of that freshman class, you're looking anywhere between 4,500 to 5,000 students as the freshman class. Within that freshman class, though, and within our population as a whole, about half of our students are from out of state. So with you being Missouri residents, don't feel like that's going to be super intimidating because half of our class is from out of state. So you won't be in the minority in that. And all 50 states are represented in our population as well, which is pretty neat. Fayetteville, which is where we're located, nestled in the heart of the Boston Mountain Range, which is part of the Ozark Mountain Range and the Ozark Plateau, I should say, to be more specific. Fayetteville's been named a top 5 place to live for the last 5 years in a row. And we're very proud of that. We're in a very neat area that is growing, which is why we've been named a fastest growing land grant institution for the last, I believe, 10 out of 12 years. So lots of things happening in Fayetteville, lots of things happening at the university. Something we're also known for is our 4 miles of sidewalks etched with the names of our graduates. My name is actually on that sidewalk alongside my husband's, which is equally adorable and nauseating, but it's pretty cool to bring family back and show them that we literally left our mark on the University of Arkansas. Like I said, our area is very unique. Northwest Arkansas is home to a small company you may have heard of called Walmart. And along with Walmart, they require many of their vendors, most of their vendors, to have a satellite office at the very least in Northwest Arkansas. So at the University of Arkansas, you have the unique opportunity to be surrounded by more than 300 of the Fortune 500 companies within about 30 minutes of campus. With that comes unique internship and potential job opportunities for our students. Our student to faculty ratio is 18:1. That's not necessarily representative of class size, but about 87% of our classes do have 50 or fewer students in them. So don't think that just because you're coming to this big university, you're always going to be overwhelmed and be that small fish in the big pond. There will be opportunities for you to be that medium-sized fish in a much smaller pond, especially once you get into your major classes of study. We have over 200 academic programs to choose from. There really is something for everybody. I think something that undergraduates really should know is that you really shouldn't limit yourself to, I need to be a biology major so I can go to med school. There are plenty of pathways to medical school. There are plenty of pathways to your professional programs and your careers. Don't think that you have to silo yourself into something. We also have a lot of interdisciplinary opportunities for students who are really interested in multiple fields. So keep that in mind as you go forward in your college search. We are ranked among the top 25 outdoor colleges. Like I said, the Ozark Mountains are our backyard. The Buffalo National River is less than 30 minutes from campus. You're within an hour of 3 major state parks. So there's plenty to do outside. We're a top 10 bike city. We actually have the Razorback Greenway, which is 30 miles of paved trail riding, which is quite the workout. I have quite the calves from that workout. So really got into the outdoors when I was at Arkansas. Over 400 student organizations to choose from. So along with those academic programs, we also want you to be engaged outside of the classroom. And we think that there really is something for everyone on our campus, everything from our faith-based organizations to Greek life, to a Dr. Pepper club and a pancake club. So really the sky's the limit. And if it's not already there, you and 5 other friends and an advisor can start something new. We're also named a top 5 study abroad program in the nation. There are lots of opportunities, not only for research to study abroad, but just to study abroad in general. About 1 in 3 of our students study abroad within their time at the U of A, and 1 and half, about 50% of our honors college students have the opportunity to study abroad. And as long as it's safe to travel there, you can go there and we'll help you find a program that best fits your needs and what you want to study. So I talked about all these great things that you get to do around Northwest Arkansas. And so I wanted to highlight a couple photos for you. We talked about that bike-friendly campus. Obviously, there are bikes you can rent across campus. You can also rent bikes or have your bike fixed at the local bike shop in our Health and Education Recreation Center. We also call that the Hyper. So you can check out equipment there. Speaking of checking out equipment from there, you can also check out camping equipment, canoeing equipment, rock climbing equipment, all from the Hyper. That's included in your student fees. Some of that will require a deposit, but you can always turn it back in, and as long as it's still in the condition that it was when you took it, you'll get your money back. But like I said, the Boston Mountain Range is our backyard, and maybe I'm a little biased, but that's a pretty sweet view. Over here is Dixon Street Entertainment District. Lots of great live music in Northwest Arkansas and in Fayetteville in general. George's Majestic Lounge is an iconic little dive spot where lots of live artists have come to play, including Cage the Elephant, Jack White when he was a member of the White Stripes, and some really cool indie and country artists come through town all the time. I did mention Greek life at the University of Arkansas. We are a Southern school, so Greek life is a big part of our student body. About 30% of our students are affiliated with a fraternity or sorority. If that is for you, great. If not, you are not going to be in the minority. If it's an experience you want, it is there for you. This student down here is studying abroad in Rome. We have 2 global campuses for the University of Arkansas. The first is in Rome, Italy, and the second is in Mexico City, Mexico. Fun fact, if you're an architecture student at the University of Arkansas, you're actually required to study abroad. So maybe be thinking about those 2 cities and if they pique your interest. I did mention SEC Division I athletics, but there are plenty of other ways to be involved in athletics as a student. outside of being a fan and calling the Hogs, of course. Featured here is our baseball team. This is Baum Stadium. Our Razorback men's baseball team has been to the Collegiate World Series in Omaha. I think they've made appearances 4 out of the last 5 years. They were semifinalists a couple years ago, or it was a tragic loss, but great program. And of course, we have all the big things, basketball, football, of course, because it's the SEC West. So we also play some really great teams. With your student athletic pass, which is available for, I believe, $85 a year now, you can get into all of the men's home and basketball and football games, which you're guaranteed to see. A lot of other schools, you're put into this lottery situation. We want our students to come to games, and we want them to support our athletes. Outside of NCAA athletics, because not all of us are Division I athletes, we also have club sports and intramural sports. So club sports are competitive. You can try out to be a part of them. Some of you will have to pay a fee to be a part of them, just because they do travel and play other schools and other teams. But if you're, we have a great rugby team, we have a great soccer team, and things like that. So if you're wanting to stay competitive with it, maybe check out club sports. If you're into intramurals and maybe you're not really an athlete, but you love to have a good time and want to find ways to make friends and maybe join a team and put together a team with your organization or your residence hall, check out intramural sports. Those are a great way to stay involved. I mentioned that we have over 400 student organizations on campus, whether that be through the Volunteer Action Center or through our headliner concert series. They determine the artists that come to campus and play. We've had everyone from John Mayer to Fits in the Tantrums, the Lumineers. Kesha came in through Glitter Everywhere maybe a year or so ago, and all kinds of other people. We've also have a distinguished lecturer series. That group of students gets to determine what speakers they want to bring to campus, and we've had everyone from, First Lady Laura Bush to the Dalai Lama to Bill Nye the Science Guy, a local hero to so many kids who grew up watching public television. And so those people have come and spoke to our students on campus and kind of gave their their life story and really wanted to inspire our students. So that's a cool organization to be a part of. We also have Full Circle Campus Food Pantry on campus. We help students in need as well as people in the Fayetteville community. We are always about giving back to our community in Fayetteville. They do so much for us, so why not help them? And of course, like I said, that includes your any other organization you really could think of, whether it be degree specific, such as a marketing club or a pre-med club, pre-law club, but there's also fun things like I mentioned that Dr. Pepper Club earlier and things like that. There's also, P.S. we have a Quidditch team. Not sure if that suits anyone's fancy, but if it does, we have it. They're actually pretty good. And we did talk about athletics a little bit ago, but we also have our marching band, and we have our spirit squad and pom squad and things like that. So if you're looking to get involved in those things, typically our auditions are in the spring. So be sure to be looking at our website and see when your auditions are if you're interested in joining some of those groups. These are some of our undergraduate areas of study. Not everything is listed, but almost everything is listed. I'm not going to go too deep into what all is included in the colleges, but I will touch on the academic colleges. So the Dale Bumpers College of Agriculture, Food, and Life Sciences. If you look along these majors, you'll see that our Bumpers College is more than just agriculture. It's more than just farming. It's more than just crop science. We also include birth through kindergarten. That's a part of life science. So if you're thinking of maybe pursuing a degree in child psychology, eventually you're going to have to go get a master's. So birth through kindergarten is listed in the Bumpers College of Agriculture, Food, and Life Science. That's also where our human nutrition and dietetics is. We're a top poultry science program in the nation, top 10 animal science program among public institutions. Horticulture, which is the study of plants, and things like that. We also have a apparel merchandising and product development degree in this college. So if you are really interested in fashion, There's a great program for you at Arkansas. Lots of students have gone on to work in places like LA and New York City and have had some really incredible internship opportunities. There's also a lot of really amazing current student scholarship opportunities in the Bumpers College, so I highly recommend you giving Bumpers another look. The Fay Jones School of Architecture and Design, 3 main degrees of study in architecture, interior design, and landscape architecture. Landscape architecture being the use of plants and outdoor spaces. So definitely check out Fay Jones. He was a prodigy of Frank Lloyd Wright, who was the father of mid-century modern, which is all the rage now again. So really neat facilities to learn and to work and to play. The Fulbright College of Arts and Sciences. If you're thinking anything in the traditional sciences like biology, physics, chemistry, if you're wanting to go more along the humanities line of, psychology, journalism, political science, there's a lot going on in Fulbright. It is our largest college within the University of Arkansas, and there's something for everybody in there. And there's lots of ways to minor as well. Some more programs, but the College of Education and Health Professions, that's where our School of Nursing is located, our nursing program. That's where any education major will be found, minus the birth through kindergarten. And of course, anything public health related, recreation and sports management, exercise science, those are really big programs for us. The College of Engineering, there are 9 different majors within engineering and over 45 different specializations. One thing I like to highlight is that our mechanical engineering students have this really amazing opportunity to study abroad in Germany. So if you want more information on that, definitely get on the College of Engineering website and check out their program. And of course, the Sam Walton College of Business, I did mention Walmart. Sam Walton obviously made Northwest Arkansas his home, and the Walton Family Foundation has been incredibly integral to our growth as a university. And of course, our College of Business is named after him. We are a leading supply chain management school, business information systems, lots of different opportunities within business, especially if you want to get involved with a group like Leadership Walton and be a student ambassador with them. Lots of groups and ways to be a part of the college. That way you can get some really awesome internship experience and leadership experience within that college as well. And of course, we have our pre-professional programs, We do have our pre-professional programs at Arkansas. All of these, whether it be pre-chiropractic, pre-dental, pre-law, pre-med, we want students to be able to explore all of their options at Arkansas. Like I said earlier, you can go to medical school and be a journalism major. As long as you have the science you need to take whatever professional exam it is you need to get into your professional school of study, that's what we want to focus on. So we ensure that you have that prep and you have that knowledge so you can add on a pre-dental emphasis to your biology degree or to your business degree or whatever it may be. So keep in mind that there are ways to get where you're going without necessarily being bogged down in that one thing your entire collegiate career. So that's just something to keep in mind as you go forward. Some interesting things over here, nanotechnology, that building is amazing, pretty cool. And lots of things happening, especially in the realm of sustainability and economics and things. I also want to take a moment to talk about our honors college. Like I said earlier, we do have a nationally recognized honors college, and we have been for quite some time. We also have one of the largest publicly endowed honors colleges in the country. They have amended their, if you are applying for fall 2021, they have tweaked their honors college admission requirements. So please be sure to check out the honors college website. It's just honors.uark.edu. And you can see the different options that are available for you if you are missing a test score or if you're still trying to get that test score that you need. For our fall 2022 students, go ahead and plan on this criteria that you see here, that 28 ACT or 1310 SAT and a 3.5 GPA for the Fulbright College of Arts and Sciences majors, College of Engineering, or the Walton School of Business will require a 3.75. So it's a 3.5 for everyone else, but for Fulbright Engineering and for Walton, 3.75 out of a 4.0 GPA. So we will recalculate GPAs as well, but I'll get into all that in just a minute. Within the Honors College, there are lots of ways to get involved and participate. Obviously, there's an interdisciplinary route that you can take. So what's really interesting to me is that Honors College is a way for you to really get to know your faculty and staff. If you're thinking professional school or graduate school or anything along those lines, you're going to need some really killer letters of recommendation. And a great way to get some of those is to be a part of Honors College. Within that honors program, like I mentioned, our 18-to-1 student to faculty ratio across campus. In Honors College, it's as little as 4 or 5-to-1. So you're going to have a lot of face time with your professors, and your professors are going to be very experienced and highly credible people in their fields of study. So very important for you all. There's also opportunities, as I mentioned earlier, to conduct hands-on research with a faculty member of your choosing. You can engage in study abroad opportunities and service learning, as well as apply for competitive grants and research money. We do have a office of nationally competitive awards. So anything, if you're thinking like a Goldwater Scholar or a Fulbright Scholar or Oxford Scholars, anything like that, we actually lead the SEC in Truman Scholars and Goldwater Scholars. So we're very proud of that. And those were a lot of those students, I shouldn't say all, but many of those students who've received those honors were members of our Honors College. And of course, make lifelong friends in our honors community. So that's just a little bit about the Honors College. There are fellowship opportunities there alongside of our additional scholarship opportunities. That's about all I have to say about that, but if you do have questions, feel free to ask. Okay, so for the admission process, we just require an application. You can apply through the institution at apply.uark.edu, or you can use the Common App. One thing I do like to let students know is that we don't necessarily look at an essay through Common App. We would rather you put that essay effort into your scholarship essay, so don't worry about that. So fill out that application on our institution website or on Common App. We're gonna ask for your high school transcripts. Those need to be sent to us. We're gonna ask for your ACT or SAT scores. I did mention earlier that fall 2021, we do have some different criteria for you. We are admitting students automatically without a test score if you have a 3.2 out of a 4.0 or better. But typically our admission requirements are a 3.0 out of a 4.0 GPA and a 20 ACT, and those have to be combined. But like I said, we do have some different criteria for fall 2021. Stay tuned for 2022. We will also ask you to send, like I said, those official test scores, whether it be ACT or SAT. We will also look for 16 core academic requirements on your high school transcript. If there's something missing, the likeliness is you'll talk to your academic advisor about it when you meet them at orientation to enroll in classes, and you all will determine how you need to proceed and how you need to make up for that requirement. So a lot of our students end up getting their final math credit, because we understand high school credits are different everywhere and graduation requirements are different everywhere. So say you're missing half a math credit, you'll probably make up for it by taking college algebra. So don't worry too much about that, but we will look for those main things. And of course, like I said, your test scores. But if you do have any questions, like I said, I am your admissions counselor. At the end of this, I will give you my contact information so that you can reach out to me directly and have some more questions answered. November 15th is our priority deadline this year for fall 2021. So be sure to get your application in, as well as all of your materials by that date to be priority consideration. Some important things and dates to keep in mind. I will follow up with everybody after all of this is over and after we get all of your information to keep in contact with you. But some things to keep in mind that you'll also have to turn in are immunization records. You'll have to complete a housing contract. The thing that I like to highlight most on this topic is that our housing contract is first come, first serve. So the day that you contract and put down your housing deposit is the day that secures your spot in line to pick your residence hall, your room, and your roommate. So my best advice to you is, if you are a particular student and you have a very particular idea about where you want to live on campus, get your stuff turned in early and get the housing contract done as soon as possible, as soon as you are admitted, because it is that first come, first served basis. The housing deposit is $240. Mom and dad might freak out about that a little bit, but tell them not to worry, because if you decide not to come to Arkansas by March 15th, you can receive up to $200 of that back. You do have to email us and let us know you're not coming, but up to $200 of that $240 is refundable. So keep that in mind. And it is non-binding, so nothing like that. If you tell us you're not coming, we honor that. And you will have to send in a final transcript after you graduate to prove that you graduated from high school. So those important dates are listed there. I have touched on a couple of them, but the main ones I want you all to worry about is that priority application deadline on November 15th and that priority scholarship deadline on December 1st for our fall 2021 students. Fall 2022, like I said, stay tuned and please stay in contact with me so that we can update you about those things. But that's kind of what to expect along those lines. And then of course for financial aid, something, and I will actually touch on financial aid here in a minute, but stay tuned. We also have an additional scholarship deadline, by the way. Whoops. Oh, an additional scholarship deadline on February 1st if you don't make that priority deadline on December 1st. Now, mom and dad are also going to want to go over this information with you, talking about those fees and tuition. As you can see, this non-resident dollar amount is kind of scary, about $24,000 based on 30 credit hours of study. That's a big chunk of change to go out of state. And especially when you consider that you would be adding a meal plan and your residence hall and student fees on top of that. So keep in mind that scholarships are all about persistence, and I'm going to talk about a specific one for Missouri students here in a moment. But just be sure that you go over this in detail with your family. That way you can discuss what options are going to be best for you all. But we do have a meal plan on campus. We have meal trade for when you get sick of eating at the dining hall, which is where you can go and trade a meal if you so feel like. But we've got, 10 meals a day or 10 meals a week. Maybe you're just not, maybe you don't work like clockwork like other people and you don't need your 3 meals a day. You're good with just 2. If that's the case, we have a plan for you. But, if you're used to being an athlete and you need that, Michael Phelps 8,000 calories a day, we have our Unlimited Plus plan for you. So there really is something for everybody. It works at all of our all of our meal establishments on campus. So, just go over those with a fine-tooth comb as well. And over here are our residence hall options. Adohi is actually our brand new residence hall that was just completed last year. Students are living in it for the first time this fall. It's a beautiful, beautiful building. And of course, there's a lot of other options on campus as well. The most frequently asked question I get is, which hall is the newest, or which one's the most beautiful? Which one is this? To be honest, our university housing office has done a phenomenal job at keeping up with updating our halls over the years. I would dare to say that 80% of these have been updated in the last 5 to 6, because with being the fastest growing land grant institution, we've really had to keep up with the demand for living on campus. And you are required as new freshmen to live on campus. So I would figure out where you want to be. And if you are cool with just ending up anywhere, as long as you have a bed, that's okay too. But again, we do list our pricing because we want to be transparent about that with you all. These prices are for the year, not for the semester. So you can get a pretty good idea of total cost based on tuition and fees, meal plan, and residence hall just with this page in the view book. And again, I'm going to follow up with all of this information for you at a later date. That way you can look over this, but this is all also available on our visit site, which is visit.uark.edu. So if you download a copy of our view book, you can find all of this information in there. So remember that $25,000 or $24,000 number price tag we were looking at just now. I want to talk about a way for you as Missouri students to be able to come to Arkansas and maybe not worry so much about that tuition cost. We offer what's called our New Arkansan Non-Resident Tuition Award. We call it the NRTA for short. If you hear people saying, oh, my kid got in-state at Arkansas, or if you hear people saying, oh, they have reciprocal tuition with Missouri, that's not entirely correct. What they're talking about is this award. So this is the NRTA. It comes in levels of 70, 80, and 90%. And it's based on typically GPA and test score. GPA does have to be 3.2, 3.4, or 3.6 out of a 4.0. Again, for our 2020 students, plan on meeting that ACT or SAT test score. For our fall 2021 students who are applying, please note that for you, we've waived the test score requirement for these awards. So if you have the GPA, it's yours. And typically, once you're admitted to the university, it takes about 3 to 5 days to let you know about the NRTA after that. But this is what you should expect. So if you were to say you were to get, that 3.4 GPA, you were admitted to the U of A, and you were given that 80% award. So with this 80% award, you would take off $13,175 from that $25,000 amount. And as you can tell, that's going to cut down your expenses massively. So this is a pretty big deal. And of course, with the 90%, it's $14,825. For the 70% award, $11,525. And again, for fall 2021 only, we are waiving that test score requirement. But 2022, please stay tuned. We do know that you all are listening in on this as well. So if you have questions or concerns about any of that, please let me know. A little bit about freshman academic scholarships. Once you apply to the U of A, you are going to get an email from us saying that you need to access your new student center. The new student center is our online portal where everything lives. That's where you can upload your test scores. That's where you can turn in your immunization records. And it's also where our scholarship application lives. And if you meet the requirements for honors college, it's also where that application will come to. But our freshman scholarships are all in one big pot. And we evaluate all of our out-of-state, we evaluate all of our applications. For out-of-staters, I am not the type to be around the bush. I'm all about full transparency. I will be honest, in freshman academic scholarships are incredibly competitive for out-of-state students, but that's why we offer the NRTA to anyone who meets the requirements. By the way, this is automatic if you meet the requirements, and it's renewable for all 4 years of school, or 5, depending on your program. So don't think that that's a freshman only thing. That's for your whole time at Arkansas. But back to freshman academic scholarships. So that application comes up live. You don't even need to be accepted to start working on that application. And the essay prompts are on the scholarship website now. So if you want to get a jump on it, that way you have everything done by November or December 1st, I should say, you'll be in really good standing. Definitely have a teacher look over your essay that we require. It should be between 600 and 700 words. There's 3 or 4 prompts to choose from. You'll also have to turn in an academic resume, which is also called a CV. And you'll also need to tell us about the 3 written works that you've read recently that made an impact on you. So not a summary of the work, but tell us why it mattered to you. And that can be a book, a journal article, a political interview, or whatever. Anything that's potentially influenced you as a person, or you in your career field, or what you're pursuing educationally. So those are the 3 things you'll need for that scholarship application. And like I said, that's due priority December 1st. And for those who don't make the December 1st priority deadline, February 1st. More info on that at scholarships.uark.edu. So we've talked about applying, we've talked about scholarships. The quick note that I will make about FAFSA is that it's available starting October 1st to fill that out. Needs to be completed no later than December 15th for consideration for Advanced Arkansas. You don't necessarily need to worry about that, but fill out that FAFSA. It's easier now than ever. I wish it was that easy when I was going to college the first time around, but fill out the FAFSA. Even if you and your parents don't think that you'll qualify for certain awards or certain grants, be sure you fill it out anyway, because a lot of scholarships will require you to have a FAFSA on file. Our financial aid office is great about providing a lot of information to students, so definitely check out our FAFSA or our financial aid website. It's finaid@uark.edu, which is right down here on the screen, or you can always give them a call. And yeah, I think that's about it as far as FAFSA and financial aid goes, but if you have questions, let me know. And last but not least, obviously, you have an interest in Arkansas. Hopefully, I've done a good job of convincing you that it's your dream school. And if it is, we really want you to come visit campus. Obviously, things look a little bit different in today's times. Groups and tours are a little bit smaller than we would like them to be normally, but we are still hosting some in-person opportunities to visit campus. We're also offering a slew of virtual visits as well. Not just for the admissions presentation, but we're also offering individual college sessions. So any of those academic colleges I talked about earlier, all of them, including Honors College, are offering virtual information sessions as well. So if you leave here today and you want more information, go to visit.uark.edu, book a tour, book a visit, sign up for an info session. I'm also going to be offering some one-on-one chats. So if you want to have a one-on-one meeting with me, you can sign up for those on our website as well. So like I said, if you go to visit.uark.edu, it'll lead you to all of those things. But come visit campus, come visit Northwest Arkansas. It's a great place to be. It's a great place to grow. Like I said, I'm incredibly biased because I'm a graduate, but I had a great time at Arkansas, and I feel that I've become the professional I am because of the incredible faculty and staff that I had in the higher education program. But if there's anything I can do to help you along the way, please let me know, because this is my contact information. Again, my name is JC Bradford. I'm the admissions counselor. I serve the students of Kansas and Missouri. That is my email. If you have any questions today that you don't necessarily want to ask on this webinar, feel free to shoot me an email at jbrad@uark.edu. Hopefully Kim's been doing a good job of keeping up with you and your questions. Like I said, if we didn't get to them, we will get to them. But I figured we will, I'll go ahead and end the presentation. If you want to just take a quick screenshot, I'll leave this up for another second for you to do that. And then here in a moment, we can get to some live questions for the Q&A if we like. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening. And you've got 10 seconds to snap a picture of that slide. 10, 9, 8, 7. I feel like a Peloton instructor. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we're back. Let's see here. Okay, I'm going to answer some questions live. I take college classes at a community college for dual credit. How will they transfer? Yes, this is a great question. In case, let's see, I was just looking to see if this has been answered. Yeah, great question. Yes, we do have a great resource for you. Our transfer course equivalency guide is on our website. There's 2 drop-down menus, one for community colleges and one for four-year colleges. So if you go to courseequivalency.uark.edu, again, that's courseequivalency.uark.edu. That will show you all of the courses from your community college or local institution that will transfer to the U of A, and it'll show you the exact course code of how it transfers and what it transfers as. So if you have any questions about that, definitely get on that course equivalency website. And be sure that if you want that credit awarded to you, that you remember to send in your official college transcripts directly to our registrar's office. Those instructions are on the registrar's website, so definitely be sure to read those instructions as well for when you want to petition that credit. Great question. I also noticed there was a question that about residence halls on campus tours. Unfortunately, because we're trying to keep all of our faculty and staff and students safe during these times, you're unable to tour the residence halls in person, but we also have a university housing YouTube channel, which is really cool. And they give you walkthroughs of all the different halls. So not only can you view photos of them on the website, you can also just Google UARC housing, UARC University Housing YouTube, and it'll take you directly to our channel, and you can tour every single residence hall. Pretty neat resource. Looks like we are coming to a close on our time. It looks like we've got maybe 4 or 5 minutes left. So if you have any lingering questions, be sure to drop those in the chat and we can get those answered for you. Got a question here. What kind of extracurricular activities are there? I think it really depends on what you want to do. There's lots to do in Northwest Arkansas. There's lots of live music. There's lots of outdoor activities. I mentioned earlier kayaking, canoeing, biking on the bike trail, camping at the state parks. But there's also great live music, not only on Dixon Street in the entertainment district, but we also are home to the Northwest Arkansas AMP, which is the Walmart amphitheater. It's actually about 15 minutes drive from campus, but they get great acts there. I actually saw Megan Trainor there. I actually saw, who else did I go see there? I saw Collective Soul, which is maybe a little past your time, but for us 90s babies, that was a good time. I saw the Goo Goo Dolls there. 21 Pilots came. I had great seats for that show. And the cool part is, those are typically artists that you would pay hundreds of dollars to see in the Kansas City or St. Louis areas. I don't think I ever spent more than $70 on a ticket for the AMP. And I was typically in like the first section closest to the stage. So lots of good live music opportunities, especially in the spring and summertime. The Walton Arts Center on Dixon Street, if you're a big fan of Broadway or plays or even just like poetry, any sort of live installation of things like that, Walton Arts Center is there for you. In Bentonville, there's also Crystal Bridges Art Museum. Fayetteville is a really up and coming art, a thriving art town, I think. And it's pretty neat, I believe. But Crystal Bridges is Alice Walton's gift to Northwest Arkansas. You can go for free. There are some special exhibits that you pay for if you want to, but most of the artwork that you view there is free, which I think is really neat. The only place I could really compare it to is if you've ever been to Kansas City, it's a lot like the Nelson. But Crystal Bridges does an exchange of art with, you know, the Met in New York City or the Louvre in Paris. So you're getting to see world-renowned artwork for very little, if any, money. There's also a pretty good foodie scene around Northwest Arkansas. So I always had fun exploring the Ozark cuisine. There are lots of obviously ways to get involved with the university, whether it be through some of those 400 student organizations I mentioned, as well as, you know, our volunteer action center. There's other ways to get involved in our community, such as through Big Brothers Big Sisters or any other kind of thing like that. Faith-based organizations around Fayetteville, if you have a local church you belong to or something like that, there's ways to get involved in the community as well. So there's plenty to do. Great question. Looks like we've got one more question here, and I'll try to be quick. After completing undergraduate degrees, can you continue towards a master's degree? Absolutely. We would love for you to stay and do your master's. And actually, if you do stay and do your master's, we can potentially, depending on the renewal criteria, maybe even include the NRTA to do that master's degree. So definitely keep that in mind. Megan, I think I'm back to you.
Sounds good.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. Megan's got one more closing thought for us. Thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 4-question survey. We'd appreciate any feedback you can provide. Also, this is just one of the many sessions being hosted, so be sure to sign up for additional sessions at MOACAC.org. In about a week, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all other session recordings at MOACAC.org. Thank you.